Dude, you'll never believe it, but as you can see here in this ancient Mayan civilization, the king would get countless slaves to just obey him. Whoa, how'd he get him to do that? He'd tell the slaves that he had access to special knowledge that they didn't, direct communication with God. Then he'd tell them that God commands their obedience to the king, or else God will punish them with horrible consequences. And because the slaves didn't believe they had direct connection with God, they couldn't validate or invalidate what the king was telling them. And people just believed him? They sure did. Their fear of the consequences that the king was always scaring them with drove them to be obedient to the king. Were people really that stupid? You'll never believe this, but based on my research back in 2023, there were a few rulers who got countless people all around the world to enslave themselves to their rules. How did they do that? The rulers would say they have special knowledge that the commoners didn't, knowledge about the climate. And they say that if the people didn't obey them, then the climate would punish them with horrible consequences. And the people just believed them? Yep. The commoners didn't have specialized instruments to observe the climate for themselves to either validate or invalidate what the rulers were telling them, so their fear caused them to be obedient to the rulers. Were people really that stupid back then? They sure were. Dude, and get this, back in 1692 and 1693, mobs in Salem, Massachusetts went on witch hunts, accusing people of being witches, then putting them on trial, then finding them guilty, and then executing them. Were any of them actually guilty of being witches? Not a single one, but they were relentless in finding them guilty anyway. Were people really that stupid back then? Did you know that back in 2022 and 2023, there was a mob of people going out on a witch hunt? They called themselves the January 6th Committee. They were very intent on accusing one man of grave wrongdoing, and they always professed his guilt. Was that guy actually guilty? Not at all, but they were very relentless on finding him guilty anyway. Were people really that stupid? My research has found that back in the Paleolithic era, there were primitive Neanderthals who actually tried to use square-shaped rocks as wheels. Were people really that stupid? As you can see in this report studying the remains of a primitive human from 2023, this man's DNA showed he had XY chromosomes, yet digital records show he thought he was a woman. How were these people able to survive with that level of intelligence? I think there's a reason they all died off. This one's unbelievable. Historical records show back in the Middle Ages, doctors routinely used leeches on patients, thinking they were a safe and effective treatment. Oh, and what happened to the patients? The leeches caused some patients to die suddenly from blood loss, and with the ones that actually lived, the doctors claimed the reason why they survived was because of the leeches. Were people really that stupid? Yeah, well, I'm glad we're way smarter now. Dude, you're never gonna believe what doctors back in 2023 thought was safe and effective. The science is in, and the Freedom merch has been proven to be safe and effective at promoting freedom. And if you'd like to check out the Freedom merch, including the Make 1984 Fiction Again design, then just go to awakenwithjp.com and enjoy spreading the freedom vibes. Always go towards the light, but luckily it turns out I'm not dying, I'm just biohacking, which means I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Bond Charge, and their amazing red light therapy devices. The red light I'm bathing in is coming from the Max, a full body panel, which I'm loving. What you may or may not know is red light therapy has become a staple in the biohacking world. Why? It's good for the skin, gives anti-aging effects, helps you recover faster from injuries and exercise, helps burn fat, and it stimulates your cells to help produce more energy. Those are the reasons why I love red light therapy. And Bond Charge makes it easy to bring red light therapy into your life. There's full body panels with the Max, the Super Max, the Demi, the Bullet, and the Mini. So no matter who you are, Bond Charge makes it easy and affordable to bring red light therapy and all of its benefits into your life. If you would like to start bringing your health and vitality up to a new level, then just go to bondcharge.com/JP. And while you're there, be sure to use the discount code JP to get 15% off. Enjoy.